Greetings, folks. You join me out here again today for another motorcycle upgrade. And today we're actually doing a few little upgrades, one or two more maintenance jobs. This video, this particular one, is going to be me setting up a pannier box right there. I've already got the pannier racks installed. These are the Tusk pannier racks. The video for this is on my channel. I'll put a link to it in the description, but we're going to be setting those up. I'm also going to be changing out the fuel lines and the vacuum line. And what else? Oh, I've also got some wiring issues from a couple of the electrical jobs that I've done over the past few weeks. Two of the things that I've installed, the ground wire that I ran to the chassis of the bike snapped, so I'm gonna have to reconnect that. So I'm gonna be doing all of that, but these will be separate videos. Oh, I'm also gonna be repacking my muffler. I've got an FMF aftermarket muffler. I got the sticker off of here just because I'm not the biggest fan of advertising for people, but you know, you can't really avoid it. Regardless, I'm gonna be repacking my muffler. I bought the bike with the muffler already on, and I doubt that it was repacked at all before I bought the bike. It only had like 6,000 miles on it. The bike only had 6,000 miles. I don't know how long the muffler had been on there, but it's getting pretty loud. I don't know how often you're supposed to repack these. I guess just whenever it's louder than normal. So I'm gonna take that off, bring it inside, repack it, but that'll be a different video. Let's move on to the bulk of the issue for this one, this pannier box. So there is an installation video about this, or for this specific bike, this Gen-1 KLR, on Tusk's YouTube channel. This will just be more of a vlog, sort of entertainment video. It's not going to be too instructional, but our first step is going to be holding the box up to the pannier, and then there is a little plate. And the reason I mentioned that Tusk instructional video is because they used two people to make the measurements for this box. I don't have a second person, so I used some duct tape. I'll show you what I did, because I just briefly did it. I put this little plate thing up to the rack, and this little loop here pulls a little spring that lets you like slot it into place. But yep, I slotted it in. I put two pieces of duct tape on the back here, and then I held the box up to the plate, got it to where I wanted it, sort of like patted the tape down onto the box, and then took the whole thing off. And then the plate was stuck to the box. I made a number of little like punch marks all along. You could use like a paint pen or something like that as well. But yeah, so I've got these punch marks here. Those are going to be where my holes go, and then I will drill. I'll take the box inside. I'm going to be doing this inside because it's hot out today, but I'm going to drill all the holes, and then I will take the second pannier box, line them up together, mark the second one, drill the second one, and set it up from there. It is a hot one, but yeah, so it should be relatively simple. I think I'm going to be taking off some of the screws that I already have on there, and putting thread locker on them. People recommend doing that. Another reference video that I'll link in the description is by Tim Two Wheels, and he has a number of little tricks that he did with the tusk boxes to make them more reliable. So yeah, so that was the first step, and I'm trying to think, that may be it. I think the next shot will be inside my apartment, where we will be drilling our holes. I think that is it for now. I'm gonna move on to my other videos for the day. Let's do it. Hello again. You joined me about a week and a half later, maybe a week later. I've been doing small work on each of these individual jobs inside my room, but it's been a while since I've been outside. I don't know exactly where I'm at with each of these jobs. And I'm pretty disorganized in general right now. I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew with all 5 of these jobs going. I've got the brakes, I've still got to install the caliper. I just got the caliper in the mail, a new caliper. I think I shot a video rebuilding it, so you'll already know about that. I think I'm gonna put this clip in each of the 5 videos just to catch y'all up, but yeah, I've got the brakes going, I've got my pannier boxes going. Those are pretty much set up. I just have to get thread locker on all of my bolts and nuts. And I've got to drill in a hole for the locking screw. I've got a lot of stuff to do today, a lot of different things, and I've got so many individual clips on my phone from all 5 of these jobs. It's gonna be a nightmare editing this. It's gonna be a nightmare figuring out what exactly I need where, making sure that I didn't forget anything. My parts tray is a nightmare. I don't remember where all the bolts go. It's rough. It's about 1:30, I think, maybe 2 o'clock. I think we're gonna be out here until the sun sets, and maybe later than that. I hope not, but I think I'm gonna get started with my exhaust, since that will just be a simple little bolt on. Let's get it done. All right, onward. Okay, you join me, I think, a number of days later. I don't know if any of these shots that I've shot over the last couple days will be included in this video. If they are, then there will be a little bit more smooth progression, but yeah, I think the last shot that I really did for these was me putting the marks where I was gonna drill each of the holes. So I went through and I drilled each hole in each pannier, and the video that I'm gonna link in the description from Rocky Mountain ATV they go into way more detail as far as all this goes. And there was also a video by Tim Two Wheels that I think I might link in the description that was very informative, but excuse me, I'll just walk you through briefly what I have done. So I drilled all these holes, and I went out and I bought a 3/8 drill bit. The Rocky Mountain video says that you can use either 3/8 or 11/32. 3/8 worked fine for me. So I ran into a slight issue where I drilled all the holes first and then tried to put this plate on and then get all the bolts and everything through, and oh yeah, the holes were not lining up, so I had to put a couple, like they did in the Rocky Mountain video, I put a couple bolts through just to like keep the plate in place, and then I went through and I re-drilled every hole through the plate so that it definitely lined up. So if you are doing this, make sure to do that first. Just get a couple done so that you can hold the plate in place, and then go through each hole through the plate. What else? The bolts that I'm using here, which ones were they? I think, yeah, these 6 pieces of this M8 1.25 20 mil. The 20 mils were each of the ones at the top here. And then I think, where's the 8 piece? Yeah, I think this one right here, I think these were the same bolts, but 5 millimeters longer. Something like that. I can't totally remember. The longer bolts, the one that comes, the size that comes with 8 bolts, these go on the bottom. The shorter bolts go on top. And I've got some stuff in here, but they are connected. The 3 holes on top are connected with this flat bar here. And then, I should move that little piece of cable out of the way, but I got washers on all of them, and I still have some spare washers in case I need to put any behind this plate in order to get the box to fit snugly. I don't have any thread locker on any of these yet, and they're not really tight, so I'm going to wait until I know I don't need any washers, and then I'm going to take all these nuts out, get some thread locker on them, throw them back on. And then in Tim Two Wheels video, he also put thread locker on all of the bolts holding those little handle things on. And I also want to say he did thread locker on the lock bolts as well, just like thread locker on everything, because apparently these tend to vibrate a lot. So that'll be a little involved. As far as getting the second one set up, I simply, after all the drills were after all the holes were drilled, I lined up this box with that one and just sort of drew a little silver Sharpie on where I needed to get the holes for that one. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think next step is going to be take everything out of these 2, because I was using them to carry stuff out. And then, yeah, I'm going to get the rack on the bike and make sure that the rack is straight, because it looked like it had bent a little bit over the last week or so. And then I am going to make sure that these fit well. And then if they fit well, thread locker. So let's do it. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it's coming together. It is coming together. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful sight. That is the sight of the long road trips to come. One thing that I did find when I was putting these on is that this, let's see if I can get it, this this silver piece, this spring-loaded bar does not go all the way through this hole on the brace of the pannier, and I tried just sort of like yanking on it from the top to simulate like a heavy load, and it just sort of like pulled off the top. I'm assuming that's the same with this one, so I think what I'm gonna do, because there's not really any ways that I can get the pannier closer to the rack. It's pretty much just like touching right there. So I think what I'm gonna do is take the boxes off and file down the hole for this little safety mechanism. I'll file down the hole closest to the pannier box so that the bar might be able to go all the way through and have it be more secure. I think that's going to be the best, so I'm going to try it and I'll let you know if it works. So I actually didn't need to do very much on this left pannier. I just needed to sort of like finagle the box a couple different angles, and finally that little pin was able to go through that hole all the way. With this one, it was a different story. I had to drill out the hole a little bit. I didn't use a file because I couldn't get a good angle on it. So I used a drill and just sort of like gradually widened the hole a little bit. And I was able to get that one through as well. So those are done. Now the last couple things to do with this is to drill a hole in the pannier right at that little hole. That will be where these little safety knobs go in. They'll go in from the inside and screw through that hole so that people cannot take the panniers off if the lids are like locked down and they can't get inside to unscrew these. So I'm gonna be drilling a hole for that, and then I will be putting thread locker on every little last thing. Let's do it. Got the knobs on, screwed through. That will secure my panniers. Now onto thread locker. Got a little dab of thread locker on all these. Gonna tighten them down. All of our bolts and nuts are tightened down. I think next I'm going to remove each one of these. Yeah, see, they're loose. I'm gonna remove each one of these one at a time. Thread locker on all 12 of them. And then I will move on to the second box and do the same thing. And there are the boxes. All Loctited up, thread lockered up, and put on. I may throw some thread locker on these bolts holding the racks on, but I'll hold off on it for now. I also didn't throw thread locker on these bolts or these screws, but I may do that later as well. So I think that is the end of this video. Next I will be moving on to trying to reground my wires and tidy up my wires and all that. That's another video that I'm shooting at the moment. What else do I got to do? I've got the last of my plastics to put on. I've got my brakes to do. And I think that should be about it, something like that. But regardless, thank you for watching, and please like, please subscribe, please comment if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.